for more than 10 years now, you've accumulated incredible fame and wealth and become one of the world's most recognizable women.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that you would have traded all of that for?
Yes.
What is that?
A mother.
Why do you feel hurt by life?
Why am I so hurt? I think, you know, losing my mother at a very young age was a devastating experience, and I really did feel completely abandoned at that point in my life, and I'm sure that that has influenced every decision that I've made, and sort of left me with a feeling, a hunger, a longing, a feeling of emptiness. You sort of grow up being afraid to love things because they're going to leave you. Are both of your parents still alive?
They are.
Are you close to them?
I am.
Yeah. Isn't it great to be able to call them up? And I don't know, I don't know if you call your mother all the time, but it's so, I
call my mother all the time.
Yeah, well, I am constantly, you know, in these situations where I'm completely frustrated and absolutely no one can come to my rescue and make me feel better. And I always say, God, I wish I had a mother that I could call. And I don't.
What do you do with that? You're by yourself.
Yes.
I mean, people want to be famous because they want to be loved. And I guess somewhere along the line when I was a little girl, I didn't feel loved, so I sort of made it my goal in life to be loved by many people. And I think most performers have that somewhere deep down inside of them.
When I first moved to New York, I was a teenager. It was 1979, and New York was a very scary place. In the first year, I was held up at gunpoint, raped on a rooftop with a knife digging into my throat, and I had my apartment broken into and robbed so many times, I just stopped locking the door. In the years to follow, I lost almost every friend I had to AIDS or drugs or gunshot. As you can imagine, all these unexpected events not only helped me become the daring woman that stands before you, but it also reminded me that I am vulnerable. And in life, there is no real safety except self-belief.
I hadn't been to the cemetery since I was a young girl. We used to go right after she died. I don't know, my mother's death was just a big mystery to me when I was a child, and no one really explained it, so. What I remember most about my mother was that she was very kind and very gentle and very feminine. I mean, I don't know, I guess she just seemed like an angel to me, but I suppose everybody thinks their mother's an angel when they're 5. I also know she was really religious, so I never really understood why she was taken away from us. It just seemed so unfair. I never thought that she had done something wrong, so oftentimes I wonder what I had done wrong.
Dear Oprah, my best friend since kindergarten, Carrie, was diagnosed with a very rare liver cancer just after her 17th birthday. 4 painful months later, Carrie passed away. But before she died, Madonna put a smile back on her face. Carrie had been a huge Madonna fan since she was just a little girl. One day, unexpectedly, Carrie received a phone call from Madonna. That day was the first day since she had been sick that I heard true happiness in her voice. And the phone calls didn't stop there. Every day after that, Madonna would call Carrie. Carrie and Madonna developed a true friendship. They talked about everything from music to the afterlife. Madonna was Carrie's angel. Since Carrie is not with us today, I wanted Madonna to know how much of a positive effect she had on Carrie. She is the reason Carrie woke up every morning. She is also the reason I've been able to deal with losing Carrie. And for that, Madonna is my angel too. She saved us both. Crystal.
That's being the light. That's being the light you're talking about. Being the light. Being the light.
I don't know anything about death since I've never died. But I've certainly been around it since a very young age. And I've had, I seem to be surrounded by it to a certain extent because of AIDS. A lot of my friends have died of AIDS, and when I was younger, my mother died, then my uncle died, and then my grandfather died. It seemed like everyone was dying all the time, so death was this kind of obsession, strange obsession that I had because it was so mysterious. And it always took away the people that I loved. So yes, I am afraid of it. But I think as I grow older and the more that I know, I think the less afraid of it I am.
It's disturbed me all day, and it's been really hard actually to get through the show, because in many ways I feel torn. Like, why am I up here dancing and having fun when people are crying over the loss of their loved ones? I made my erotica album, and my sex book was released. I remember being the headline of every newspaper and magazine. And everything I read about myself was damning. I was called a whore and a witch. One headline compared me to Satan. I said, wait a minute, isn't Prince running around with fishnets and high heels and lipstick with his butt hanging out? Yes, he was. But he was a man. This was the first time I truly understood that women really did not have the same freedom as men. I remember feeling paralyzed. It took me a while to pull myself together and get on with my creative life, to get on with my life. I remember wishing that I had a female peer that I could look to for support.
I think that sexuality is something that Americans would really rather just sweep up under the rug. And I think that if my video provokes an open discussion, maybe the kids will go and ask their parents these questions, why are we willing to deal with the realities of violence and sexism, and why aren't we willing to deal with sexuality? Why? The networks won't even play ads on TV that are about condoms, about birth control, about practicing safe sex. We're pretending like we don't have a lot of teenagers that are having sex in the world right now. Why are we subjecting ourselves to this kind of ignorance? But if we're going to have censorship, let's not be hypocrites about this. Let's not have double standards. Why is it okay for 10-year-olds to see someone's body being ripped to shreds, or Sam Kinison spitting on Jessica Hahn? Why are we going to deal with these issues? Why is that okay? Why do parents not have a problem with that? But why do they have a problem with two adults, two consenting adults displaying affection for each other, regardless of their sex?
It's been the love of your life, your whole life.
My whole life? Sean. Sean.
If you look back over your life, is there one true love that stands out?
Absolutely. Sean.
Nobody comes close.
No. I have to keep telling you this. This is not just a movie about me. It's a movie about celebrity, but it's also a movie that touches on a lot of different issues. It's a slice of life. You don't just see my life. You see, the dancers that I work with. You see, little bits and pieces of their lives. You see, I deal with a lot of topical issues. Family issues and what I think to be a big problem in the United States, and that's homophobia. That's there's a real big section in the movie devoted to that.
Yes,
and
and you know that some people are going to find, your fans will love the film, I think, but some people are going to find sections of it offensive.
well, that's their problem, though.
You don't
if
care?
they're No, of course not, because see, these things exist in life. I'm only presenting life to people, you know. I am not presenting anything that probably they're not exposed to, you know, in everyday life, but maybe they don't want to deal with it.
I tried to be a boy, I tried to be a girl, I tried to be a mess, I tried to be the best. I guess I did it wrong, that's why I wrote this song. This type of modern life, is it for me? This type of modern life, is it for free? What do you mean by that?
That's, yeah, trying on different guises, different personalities, being a rebel, being androgynous, you know, doing all these kind of things, trying to be number one on the top. But I guess I did it wrong, meaning I'm 100% sure that getting people's approval is not a goal to have in life.
Fame can be very disruptive. It can be like a drug, you know, like it gives you the feeling that you're happy. It gives you the feeling that you're fulfilled. It gives you the feeling of self-importance, and it can distract you from what's really important.
There are no rules if you're a boy. If you're a girl, you have to play the game. What is that game? You are allowed to be pretty and cute and sexy, but don't act too smart. Don't have an opinion. Don't have an opinion that is out of line with the status quo, at least. You are allowed to be objectified by men and dress like a slut, but don't own your sluttiness. And do not, I repeat, do not share your own sexual fantasies with the world. Be what men want you to be, but more importantly, be what women feel comfortable with you being around other men. And finally, do not age, because to age is a sin. You will be criticized, you will be vilified, and you will definitely not be played on the radio.
I think that not only do we suffer from racism and sexism and things like that, but we also suffer from ageism, and that is that once you reach a certain age, you're not allowed to be adventurous, you're not allowed to be sexual, you know, and I think that's rather hideous. And I mean, a lot of people have said, oh, it's so pathetic, or what is she going to do? I hope she's not still doing that in 10 years. I mean, who cares? What if I am? I mean, is there a rule? I mean, what, are you supposed to just die when you're 40? I mean, and that's basically what everyone wants people to do, and I think it's stupid.
Do you think that you pathened away? Can you say that? Pathened away?
Made a path?
Yeah, made a path?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I
mean, maybe things don't change because of me, but maybe it opens people's mind up a little bit, and then the next person after me has a little bit easier time, and then the next person after that, yeah.
And are there young female musicians or artists that thank you for that?
No. No.
Should they, though?
Yes, they should.
And do you have the feeling that they
Are ungrateful? Yes.
Yeah, yes?
When I meet people and I get to know them, they always say, God, you're so sweet. You're so vulnerable. You know, and my whole thing is, God, can't you see that? Can't you see that in everything that I do? I mean, I think it's obvious.
You have no idea how much your support means. But to the doubters, the naysayers, to everyone who gave me hell and said I could not, that I would not, that I must not, your resistance made me stronger, made me push harder, made me the fighter that I am today, made me the woman that I am today. So thank you.
Well, when I'm dead, they'll finally kiss my ass. Isn't that how it works? When Marilyn Monroe was alive, they were so vicious and cruel to her. They ripped her to shreds. They wouldn't give it up to her in any way, shape, or form. And then when she died, it was just like, oh, she's a comedic genius. I mean, excuse me. I mean, they do that to everybody. They did it to Vincent van Gogh. I mean, history just repeats itself over and over again that way.